Okay, guys, so this is an audio version. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to kind of look at me for a bit. Maybe I'll throw some photos on later so you can actually watch something. So this is going to be an audio version of the book Predictionaire by myself, Christopher Graham. So a bit about it. It got written during the 2020 lockdown. I started kind of right at March, April of 2020. Right before that, I had a fainting spell in a Walmart, which they attributed to a seizure. So you'll maybe, I forget if when or you hear about that, but that has been corrected to just a fainting spell, which was very lucky. That was kind of the beginning of when I felt like I needed to take this idea further. I don't know how many segments this is going to be, but let's go with chapter 1. The first page says, "To my daughters, Rachel, Rebecca, Leah, and Sarah, Daddy loves you." So I'm going to set you up here. It's my life's work to help, especially children and youth. I have spent over a decade being a mentor, coach, and child and youth practitioner. I write this book to help others who are in similar roles: teachers, administrators, parents, coaches, counselors, psychologists, and countless others that influence youth development. The purpose of this book is to give insight into how youth grow and learn, especially those that are marginalized by mental health concerns. It could also help yourself if you struggle to understand that you aren't alone in your way of thinking. I hope that this book will help you through your own struggles with your kids, your partner, your client, your student, or yourself. I will take you through several categories of growth, and each will be entangled with the next. It is important to understand the process of learning and then apply it to real-life situations. I will give my own anecdotal evidence as well as some research studies to back up my theories. If you can try to understand that different profiles need different strategies, this book will serve you well. So here goes. I have imposter syndrome that causes me to second-guess myself in decisions. It literally rears its ugly head every day of my life. I second-guess my decisions as a parent, partner, friend, and as a mentor constantly. But it has also afforded me the ability to think of different outcomes to situations very fast. I have bipolar disorder, and I tend to think in extremes. I constantly think of the best situation and the worst situation very quickly. I am an eternal optimist, but also suffer with depression at times, and I take this as a gift from God that I can be a few steps ahead of a situation because of this contradicting way of thinking. I have a role-play technique where I ask the person in crisis to describe the best and worst case scenarios, and then try to discuss the likelihood of those outcomes. It can be very effective. Once I think of a few different outcomes to the situation at hand, I can guide them to a peaceful resolve and plan for the future. I refer to this as prediction error intervention. You will read about prediction error as a model to see trends and intervene in new innovative ways. It is what keeps me calm in high-pressure situations where I've had to talk a teen out of suicide. It is what fuels my adrenaline when I need to restrain a youth, which I rarely need to do with my way of practice. I am always looking for another way to solve an issue, and I'm great in those situations. However, this imposter syndrome feels like someone will constantly question a decision that was made. It causes me great anxiety to take initiative even though I have great ideas. And then it causes me regret that I did not act differently in a particular situation. It really affects my confidence and self-esteem, and I struggle daily. You'll see throughout the book that I am analyzing my own behaviors in real time as I write this book. It will show you how I have been developing these principles and their application in my own life. And as you'll see, I intend to be transparent with my struggles and how I am overcoming them using these strategies. I also battle depression as a symptom of being bipolar. I will have a random memory and it will trigger how I feel resentment or remorse for decisions in the past. It can be something that just happened that triggers my depression, or it can be a memory from grade school. Sometimes the depression would hit out of nowhere, or sometimes it is built up as I hear lots of traumatic stories daily through my profession that make me angry and sad at a system that is trying their best with the resources they have. I get energized going to work in a great team to help guide young people through life. Working at a school board has afforded me ample experience to work with mental health and educational practices. I'm learning slowly through journaling to let stuff go. The issues of the day can just melt away if you let them. Journaling helps me, as does woodworking and photography. They help to focus my mind on something creative. If you get anything from this book, understand this. Praise the process. Trying to encourage and help facilitate growth is a rewarding process. Get away from the capitalist idea that everything is about earning potential. As adults, we rarely do start doing a sport or an instrument, hobby, or activity for the fun of something. Sometimes we can look to the thought of earning potential. If my fly fishing tackle is really good, maybe I can sell it on Etsy type of mentality. Is draining the fun and passion of just creating because you love something. I think that we need to back off from the pressure we place on young people to be the best and focus on being their best. We need to praise the process of young people's development. Praising the process for me is getting hyped over their small progressions. I prefer to do this specifically, as it shows intent. Instead of saying great game, try saying I love your backward skating this game. The point is to raise confident young people. So build them up, give encouragement from a loving place, and always praise the process of development instead of a future earning potential. I'm of the belief that if you try your best and have your hopes and dreams surrounded by doing what you love, then money wouldn't be an issue. That being said, what you love might not pay the bills. It's important to understand if your passion or hobby is just that, and not a potential money earner. When you put money as the end goal of your passions, I believe you sacrifice happiness and fulfillment. Over the next few chapters, I will discuss a strategy of intervention that I have been using successfully. It is called prediction error intervention, and talks about how we as in all types of learners, learn differently. I believe that having bipolar disorder has given me such a different perspective to working with youth. I will talk more about this in a section I call Qualify. I will then discuss a different way to think about addictions, and then I give some recommendations that I use in my own life. So, why listen to the recommendations to change our current education model? Tyler Rayall tells us that quote unquote, wait, do I say quote or unquote? I think I say quote. Okay, Tyler Rayall tells us that, quote, a survey of teachers indicated that 29% had been physically attacked and 43% had been verbally threatened by students. And they're referencing a 2014 study from McMahon. Keep in mind, this is a pause break. I'm a C+ man, so a lot of this stuff I won't know how to say in an audiobook, so I'm going to try my best. So that's far too high in my opinion. What other profession is this acceptable? We need something to change the way our young people are mentored. We need to adapt approaches because they can see through tactics that may have worked 30 to 40 years ago, but things are much different now. We are not doing as good a job approaching consequences from a scientific background, looking at functions of the behavior and possible new approaches to handling disruptive behavior. Okay, that's chapter 1.